All right, welcome to James Hates Everything. And tonight, uh, unfortunately, I have to start things off on a little bit of a somber note. For those of you who are not aware, earlier today, Billy from the Game Chasers, his family announced that he lost his battle with brain cancer. And for a lot of people, Billy and the Game Chasers, especially, are really considered the godfathers of retro gaming YouTube. They are uh, a couple guys and their friends that really inspired a lot of the big channels today. They went out and they filmed themselves looking for retro video games, looking for toys, and they've uh, been there throughout the last 15 years, just making all kinds of content. They've made two feature-length films. Um, one of this is their channel, and just in case you haven't seen them or are aware of them, one of my favorite videos was actually one featuring Billy himself. I believe it's been a couple years, but he was driving across country, and as he was doing so, he found an abandoned rental store out in the middle of nowhere, like a video rental store, and went in, and it had been abandoned with all its inventory. And he spent a lot of time digging through just piles of garbage and, you know, rat infestation. You can just imagine. But in there, he found tons of gems, boxed NES games, Genesis games, just all kinds of stuff in there. And then he took it upon himself to try and find the family, or the people who owned the store, and track them down. And it's just a great video. It's just really interesting, and it's something I recommend you guys watch if you haven't seen it. And so, it's with heavy heart um, that we hear the news today, and my thoughts and prayers are with his family, Jay, Chief, and the rest of the Game Chasers crew. And it's a big loss. So with that, let's just jump right into it. All right. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It's been a big week of home arcade news. Of course, most of it brought to you by Neo Hyper 64, Paul Mindeman himself, who's out there doing yeoman's work, trying to make contacts with everybody and their brother. Before we get started, though, I want to say hi to everybody who dropped by. We have Jason S., we have Josh, Julio Hernandez. Nice to see you. Nice to see everybody showing up. Stupid Fat Hobbit. David Deming says it's only a war if the cabs aren't complete ass. And boy, do I agree. We have JJ, and he brings up a news about Shiloh. And I know Michael B did confirm with New Wave Toys that Shiloh was in an accident and is recovering well. So again, thoughts and prayers with Shiloh for a speedy recovery. Hope he is doing all right. Obviously, a big part and an icon in this community. So glad to hear he's on the mend, and hopefully he will be back and kicking around with us soon. Sergeant Giratina is in the house. Nice to see you. Zero Redux. Speak of the devil. There is Neo's Arcade. We have this guy here, the Cornercade, who's 15 minutes early, apparently. Gamer Fridge, who's eating some pizza. The moderator of all moderators, Jason Little Alien, also digging some pizza. Gramps Arcade. Now he wants some pizza. It's a pizza night. Video Game Vegas is in the house. Nice to see you. And let's see who else. We got Saved by Zero. He says, nothing like a little feast on our time. And Gamer Fridge wants to know what kind of pizza is in Cleveland. And it's probably Cleveland style, which is, do they have a style? Billy Woods says, sad to hear the news. We have B. Kirby, the Chicago arcade guy. Thanks for dropping by. Fat Hog 13 is here. The bad guy, Mike Worley. A random one is also here, rocking those VR goggles. J Rod is in the house. Sir Sega is here. Vic Vicious. Unchained 81 with that Robotron 2084 peeking through. Show Gecko's in the house. Chris Ford, 100% remember watching that video, talking about obviously the Game Chasers and Billy when it came out the first day, and kept watching it just to see what he pulled out next. Yeah, it was a great video. C Marvel 360 is in the house. P Dubs is here. End of the line is here. And hopefully I haven't missed anybody. Theme Park 365. Hopefully it's not a leap year. Johnny Blaze is here. All right. And Ted Adam Green sneaks in for the live show. Thanks for being here, Ted. I says, I bite my iArcade Game Station Go as I write it in vote. Okay. So I think he wants to write it in, but he's eating it. He's literally eating his Atari Game Station Go while he's voting. So, you guys know the big news of the week is all kinds of basic fun, and today, apparently, more iconic arcade news. So, I think you guys can all read, but of course, I know you've seen a lot of this. Obviously, you guys, if you missed it, I dropped a video earlier this week. Just as these pictures dropped on my gut reaction from some pictures I saw earlier of that Return of the Jedi, and that the TMNT cab was full of, in that picture, what appeared to be nothing but console games. So thankfully, some of that has changed. Some of it's got a little better. We hope. Some of it is gotten even more disappointing. So let's talk about some of those. Obviously, we got the new Centipede Asteroids. So we'll come down here, see if I can find a good picture of that. The Centipede Asteroids cab. Oh, this is such a disappointment. This is really one of the ones I was looking forward to, aside from WrestleFest. We'll get to the WrestleFest stuff here in a minute. But man, when they first showed that off, right? It was this one. This is the one we want. This is the Supreme, right? It's white. It's got the right logo, even though the monitor's wrong. It's widescreen. It's a full up Centipede. It's a replica. It's what the kind of things we're looking for our arcade. This looks great. This looks like a Centipede should look, with that full up beautiful marquee. And thanks Theme Park 365 for becoming a member. Always appreciate members. Do help support the channel with our editors and our software and all that fun stuff. So I definitely appreciate that. But yeah, this is what we wanted, and instead we're getting this monstrosity, which the art's not too bad. The one problem is they made it black. This is supposed to be white. Of course, the other side is going to be an Asteroids cab, not even Centipede. The deck is wrong. Like, it's too thick for what the Centipede cab was. So it looks kind of bizarre. And of course, Asteroids, the Centipede Asteroids combo never actually existed. We could talk about this marquee. Like, this marquee, it doesn't even fill the marquee. They didn't even go edge to edge with it. Like, I don't even understand. What are they doing here with this hot garbage? You know, why is there so much space here? Like, it's so strange. Yeah, we've got let's see here. Johnny Blaze said, Yay, a joystick for Tempest. So I'm not seeing a joystick, but we have a spinner there. And then the rest of the buttons, obviously. So no, I don't see a joystick. Now I do think there is a joystick on the Ultra version, but this is just so disappointing. And so, one of the two, I think, Supremes we know for sure are coming, and it's just another mashup cab. And maybe it could be used for an asteroids, but it's close for a centipede, but it's just not right. It's you'd have to invest so much extra money to make this the right thing. Just a big disappointment. And Chris Nooner is in the house. Gamer Fridge likes it. He likes lots of hot garbage. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I mean it's fine if it was all asteroids. It's fine if it's centipede. And here's one of the things I don't understand. And I know their basic fun is listening to their designers, not anybody who has arcade experience. And here's where I'm just going to put a business hat on here for a second, right? Like if I'm a business company, I have a decision. I can do a mashup XL cabinet between Centipede and Asteroids and alienate people that truly want a recreation and that are really interested in XLs, which are, higher price point, presumably higher profit margins. And do this mashup that doesn't really match or recreate an actual cab and alienate the diehards and get the people that just really just think, hey, it looks cool, it's good enough. Or I stick to the original art and I release Centipede one year and the next year I release Asteroids. I don't have to go back. I don't have to redesign anything. I just put new stickers on it and a new marquee, maybe change the deck layout a little bit. And then I sell to all the people because I haven't alienated anybody. So everybody that's interested in a Centipede is going to buy it. And then I can double dip and get all the people that want Asteroids and the people that just want both. They might buy it twice. So even from a business perspective, this decision makes no sense to me. You're limiting your market opportunity, and I don't understand why. Do they really think people are just like, there's a market bigger than people who want recreations that want just amalgam cabs and nothing else? I don't understand it. It just doesn't make business sense to me. So not a fan of this one. So, and of course, here's the Ultra with that big fat joystick. Do we have the Ultra box in here somewhere? Don't think we do. So we don't fully know what the games list is on the Ultra Centipede, I don't think. So this one may not have Tempest on it. The fact that it doesn't have a spinner probably means it does not have Tempest. So it'll be interesting to see what this games list is. I know some people caught that this screen here is in the right aspect ratio, even though it's still a widescreen monitor. So being that this is in the right aspect ratio and this one is not, my guess is that's just a setting, or they didn't really work very hard on the prototypes, one of the two. So I guess we will see on that front. But to me, this is the better cab. The Ultra is the better version. Unfortunately, the art is wonky, as Michael B has reported out many a times. Like, this should be bigger. Like, make this bigger or flip them. And I know they didn't because they wanted to differentiate between the one Arcade 1-Up did, but it's that's the only problem with that one, in my opinion, besides the weird ass joystick. Then we got, let's see, what else does it talk up here? Of course, there's the Centipede, the Turtles cabinet. So this is Turtles Ultra. This is the one that I think gives us a lot of hope. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the design, it's that midway design. Talking about Blitz, Josh Dandy next to me there. I'd pay extra just for non-real feel arcade joysticks, if you know what I'm saying. Um, but so it's let's see. End of the line says, "Is the centipede art off because the cab is slim?" No, the cab is normal size, but if you remember the arcade one up one with the riser, it's the exact same thing, but instead of the riser, it's kind of this ultra deluxe look. But to differentiate on the arcade one up, this Atari logo was on the riser and the centipede was pushed up higher. And so you can tell there's like, well, if we put the Atari down here, it'll look exactly like the arcade one up version. So let's just flip them so that they're different. They're more different than they would be. That's all they've done. This could easily go up higher. They've chosen not to in order to avoid copying that art, in my opinion. But the Ultra on this, even though I would much prefer a more Konami style cab, this is the one that I think saved the day for Turtles fans, because clearly you can see the logos here. The top two logos are the arcade ROM. So the fears that came from staring at this thing, that's the same one, which we didn't see. This one, which is the slim. You guys can see how different the slims are than the ultras. Like, look how thin that is. That is super thin. But you look at this games list and it's like console, 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 console. And here you're like, well, that looks like the arcade title screen logo of Turtles in Time, which isn't really one they use other than that one title screen. So that one appears to be an arcade, but the title game isn't even on here, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it clearly says 5 games. So the slim one, they've taken off the real Turtles and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade and just give you the TMNT 2, the arcade game, the NES version. So this one is like, unless this is like $100, I don't see the value here at all. Like, wrong shape, bunch of console games, very, very strange decision. But at least this one's okay. I can understand somebody that really wants a Turtles picking this up. It's unfortunate that it is only the Ultra, so it's only 2-player. So we'll have to see if and when they get there, if they make a Supreme of this and it's more the correct Konami shape with that 4-player deck. I mean, it may be good. Maybe we'll get some additional Turtles games. Who knows? So that one's okay. It's always about the feels, says Goofy Foot. Thanks for dropping by. The Wild says, I want things like Hydro Thunder, Silent Scope, Hot Wheels, a fishing game. God, I would love Silent Scope. I can't imagine anybody making it for an affordable price, but I would buy it no matter what, even if it was a premium price, because that's a special game. Hydro Thunder obviously has a bunch of fans, but they need more horsepower and things like that. Johnny Blaze says, hard pass on TMNT if it doesn't have April's wedding ring. So we will find out, I guess, if it does. The 1-up 4-player from A1-up will do. The TMNT is a step back, if you ask me. I agree. I actually don't have a TMNT, but I do have the Simpsons, of course, soft modded with Team Encoder's soft mod. So that's where, I play TMNT. Now, it can't be played online. So I also own, of course, the Turtles collection, Cowabunga collection, which has all those games and ROMs. So I legally own those ROMs. But it can't be played online on the hacked version. So it's no different than this, because these arcades don't have online. So, that's different than arcade 1-up. And for me, beat 'em ups are about the only ones I really care if they have online, because to me, that's fun. Bunch of co-op go. I know a lot of people like online for competitive play. That, unless it's a sports title, I don't care too much. But the beat 'em ups, the sports games, to me, got to have online, just for the fun of it. So TMNT is a meh for me, right? It is a meh. Now that at least it's got the 2 arcades, I'll hold out judgment till we see an actual Supreme version of that one. Um, but it's disappointing. So Ultra seems like it would be better than a Supreme. Yeah, for Centipede for sure. The unfortunate thing is kind of these ultras, right? They're a step backwards from the deluxe. Like no coin doors. Um, so it's pretty interesting. You're getting a lot less. No Wi-Fi, no coin doors, but same price as an arcade one up uh deluxe. So hopefully we're getting reverse printed marquees. It doesn't look like the marquees even on any of these. Now that I think about it, these look all like they're off. Do these marquees even light up? That's a different question. They certainly look nice, but they also don't look lit up now that I'm staring at this. Anyway, yeah, basic fun. Heard a lot of them. Basic disappointment. Somebody said, I think that was Galaga guy, or chaotic actually. Like it's a lot of like, oh, just so disappointed. Devastator says Iconic has me curious, but looking forward to more Mortal Kombat collection. Yeah, and I'm hearing a lot of disappointment from Mortal Kombat collection with no lobbies and stuff. That's crazy. Joe Cade is in the house. Nice to see you. Check out Joe's channel, by the way, guys. I hear he is on his way somewhere to Cleveland Gaming Expo this weekend. So I would imagine he might have some content going on there, or maybe not. Maybe he's just going to have fun. But so all right. So we've got the Centipede mess. We've got the Turtles, and then we have the coffin, the refrigerator box. I don't know. This one's been beat to death. Like it. I don't know what to say. It looks like crap. This is the one I'm disappointed most in. I had one of these. When I worked at the comic shop, they had that in the comic shop. Played the hell out of it. An original. Just loved this game, and loved the way it looks and feels. The real one. And they could have done things to this to just make it slightly like, you cut this line along the control panel, you make it close to the monitor, you push that marquee back, and lo and behold, you have a very close representation of the real cab. And we've seen the prototypes of 720 and some of these other cabs. You could have done the bottom right too. We've seen it, right? They've done it. So that could have been very, very close. And this is a bad choice. And, again, you got to stop listening to the non-arcade people. Basic fun. Don't make the same mistakes Arcade 1-Up did. Arcade 1-Up really pushed back later and finally got us things we actually wanted before they turned back into crap. But, like, come on. This is a super fail. It's better than the Supreme version. Like, let's look at that. This is what I saw that made me go puke. This art is supposed to line up. It doesn't. Like, they just made this huge and stuck it on there. Good enough. It doesn't go up. The shape is even worse than the other one. So I'm hoping this is just an early render, that this is not the Supreme, because if the Supreme comes out looking like this one's DOA. But yeah, this is what I retched on. This is god awful. There is no nostalgic vibes even close on this one. This is the refrigerator box that I was talking about. I don't even know what this is. I've heard people say, "Oh, it kind of looks like the Spy Hunter." I don't even see Spy Hunter in this. Spy Hunter has a little different, unique angles and shapes on it. I mean, I can see it maybe being close, but it is not close enough, in my opinion. It's just a huge miss. I think this is hot garbage. And then, of course, the Pac-Man Jr., which of course we've seen before from Arcade 1-Up, but not like this. This looks more like one of the original Walmart Arcade 1-Ups, the Gen 1 cabs. And everybody knows when you're getting toddlers in arcades, you want big, pointy edges for them to impale themselves on when they're climbing on it and jumping on it. Um, says I not notice Han Solo isn't on the side art anymore. Is he not on it? Well, it certainly only shows Luke on the speeder bike, Darth, and um, uh, obviously the Death Star. I don't remember Han being on the side. Let me just double check real quick before I open my trap, because I think that's the right side art. Yeah, there's no Han. It's just Luke and the two speeder bikes with the Darth Vader head. There's no Han on the Return arcade side art. So it's the right side art. It's just not the right shape of cab. So, hey, congrats for doing the right side art. I guess if you want to win something, I guess that's a win. With half-inch press board, you're not replicating the original Return of the Jedi at all, coming from a 30-year Union carpenter. So again, B Kirby, we've seen it. The 720 prototype that Arcade 1-Up did is the very similar shape, with the big screen, with the half-inch, particle board or whatever it is. And so it could be done. But like I said, you don't even need to do the bottom part. All you got to do is get this part right, which you can see they do. This is the right angle over here. You just push the marquee back. But they don't, right? They don't. They just go with this ugliness. So huge mistake. Something they could have easily fixed, easily done. But they didn't. So before we transition, of course, to to Iconic Arcade, we got to talk about this one. Of course, you guys saw this. I don't think that other picture's in here, the publicity, the promo photo. So we'll just use this. Of course, P-Dubs, and shout out to P-Dubs Arcade Loft. Make sure you check out his video on this. He put his nose to the grindstone, worked his Rolodex, madly dashed through the basic fun phone directory and found somebody that would give him the inside scoop. And they confirmed the worst fears, that Legion of Doom and Sergeant Slaughter have been ripped out of this cab and are not being replaced by anybody. So you got the 9 superstars, the 9 legends. Who knows who will be the new tag team champions that you have to go after. But I suppose if you're a diehard WrestleFest fan and can live without the Legion of Doom, there you go. I believe you're only losing one playable character. For me, one of the things I believe that's somewhat problematic is the Royal Rumble mode. It's 6 players on the screen for each match. So typically you could have quite a few combinations every time you play that when you had 12 wrestlers in the pool. But you strip 3 of them out, and now you're basically going to be running with mostly the same characters every Royal Rumble match. Does that provide enough replay or enough variety of replay? I don't know. Probably doesn't for me. To be honest, I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I've liked it at periods throughout my life, but I'm not a diehard. I was interested in this, but this one I'm probably holding out on. Again, without online play, there's not a lot of why would I buy this other than the fact that it is just the first time it's come out officially. So, maybe if in the future they re-release it with Wi-Fi, that I can live without the other characters because, hey, now I can at least wrestle other people. We can all Royal Rumble together. But to have no online, not the full roster, I have trouble with what the point is, right? But I know this will sell. It's got the WW brand, just like the Star Wars one is going to sell, and probably the TMNT one is going to sell. Let's be real. the masses will still see this. They won't know that Legion of Doom is missing in all likelihood. So all three of these are, I think, going to sell. And will they be successful? Because the licensing on all of these has to be expensive. You've got Disney on one, you've got the WWE on the other. I don't know about TMNT. I saw that Rattle Shades, what is it? Uh, uh, what is that stupid game? Shadow Legends or whatever? Raid Shadow Legends now has the TMNT license. So you can get stupid Ninja Turtles and fight Shredder in that stupid mobile RPG game. So Nickelodeon will give that license to anybody who asks for it. So, you know, it'll still sell, but I don't know how much, because I would think TMNT fatigue has to be coming on because it's everywhere right now. So we'll see. I would think a lot of people that wanted TMNT diehards probably already bought it, but I know there's some that had missed it. Says, I don't even know who Legion of Doom is. Well, it's the boss of the game. That is who you were trying to beat to win the game. So imagine them taking out the final boss in Street Fighter 2 without M Bison, Mortal Kombat without Mortal Kombat 2 without Shao Kahn, or like take out the main character and just say, all right, now Liu Kang is the boss. It's just not the same thing. So people that have nostalgia for this game know who Legion of Doom is. They know this game. And you took out a major part of beating the game, right? So, hey, if you just want a game where you can wrestle, they got you. But you want this actual game, it's hacked up. It's hacked up pretty bad. So, those rumbles sure will suck. Start with 6 in the ring and only 3 come out. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be silly. So it is what it is. It would be like taking P-dubs out of Multicade Mondays. There you go. Rob Katz here says Bruce Springsteen is the final boss. Well, there you go. So it is what it is. We now have confirmation. They didn't just disappear from the side art. They disappeared from the whole cab. And that is unfortunate. So the fun today, the more basic fun, thanks to again, Neo Hyper 64 and his news hound. We've got information on the pre-orders. So these basic funds, the WWE Ultra, or these are Countercades, WWE, Asteroid, Centipede, and Tempest, along with the Ultra, WWE, and Centipede, are going to be up for pre-order the first week of October exclusively at Amazon. So if you are somebody who is chomping at the bit for one of those, get ready to open your wallets. Then a little bit after, we're going to see, this is likely through Spreetail, other online retailers like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Wayfair, Home Depot, the usual suspects, the same ones that had Arcade 1-Up because of Spreetail. They will have those cabs available there to purchase right away because they'll be in full release at that point. I like this, that there will be some limited presence in stores at Nebraska Furniture Mart and Best Buy, and perhaps maybe some others. I love this because that home arcade area of Nebraska Furniture Mart has been pretty pathetic, replaced with My Arcades and emptiness and loneliness. As Arcade 1-Up has kind of dwindled in what they produce, it's become sad. And so Nebraska Furniture Mart hopefully ramping up and combining these, offering both the Arcade 1-Ups and the basic funds, and whatever My Arcades could bring some life back into that area. So that's pretty interesting. Of course, will ship within 30 days. Return of the Jedi will still arrive, though you won't be able to pre-order it in that first launch. Says the yoke has been approved. Of course, prices for the Ultra Spirit series are expected to be $4.99 to start, but may increase after the pre-order window. That would be a mistake because they're probably already too priced without all the online and coin doors and stuff. There's a lot of missing bells and whistles there. So that would be a mistake. TMNT slated for the second quarter of 2026. And looking at new licenses, adding Wi-Fi. Of course, I hear they're working with Code Mystics on the WWE and presumably, hopefully, with other games. So everybody knows Code Mystics is kind of the go-to and the ones who really have done the best work, I think, on the home arcade stuff to keep it as most accurate as possible. So at least you're going to get a quality, mashed up, chopped up WrestleFest. Let's see here. Not even remotely true, P-Dubs, but if I want to know how to get more value in my handheld device, well, I don't know what they're talking about. Uh, Interesting, Mike C. Irish Michael C, whoever that is. Ichabod Crane says Retromania mystery encoder. ChatGPT sucks at spelling. So that's how we spell it on my island. Is your island Ireland or Nova Scotia or whatever? Newfoundland. Otherwise, it's pretty accurate. P-Dubs likes handhelds. Code Mystics confirmed that on P-Dub's video. So there you go. Code Mystics confirmed. Iconic arcades look better than basic fun. And yes, we are getting into that one for sure. I had it from two sources, but neither was Code Mystics themselves. So there you go. Oh, I noticed you didn't put me on your references as friends, Neo. Oh boy. So all right, so that's the fun, basic fun news. Of course, here's that publicity photo we were talking about earlier. I'm sure you guys have seen this 1,000 times at this point. Here's the Supreme. Here's the Ultra. There in the corner is the Countercade. No word yet on if this barber stool is going to show up for $100. But until then, there's your 3 versions of WrestleFest, not counting the littlest of versions, the original arcade classic mini thing. So, and of course, we get the centipede again. Now, let's talk about the news from today. So, Basic Fun isn't apparently the only company out at the toy preview event in LA. We also have Iconic Arcade. And of course, this is not a new cab. This is the same one we saw at the Arc Systems World Tour, but perhaps it's a nice, more lit up picture of it. And it's the one of one prototype. So this is not the actual cab, production cab. So you can imagine a seam on here, some minor changes with this, but it looks authentic. This is about as close as you can get. This is what people have been asking for. Of course, I'm going to keep zooming and make everybody dizzy there, but it's the extreme size, right? So basically full size arcade cabinet. It's got that extra width because there's a 24-inch widescreen monitor powering the 19-inch screen behind that bezel. So it's a little wider. So you get a more traditional, more comfortable multiplayer. So you're not necessarily like having to hug the person next to you if you play, want to play 2-player. And of course, it's Double Dragon, one of the most iconic arcade beat 'em ups of all time. The spiritual successor to Renegade. of course, Double Dragon, great game, lots of fun. You know, used to have some kind of hint that maybe this was the whole Double Dragon collection. So you got, Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3, some of the advanced games. So we will see what other games are on here. Lord knows there are a ton of possibilities when it comes to Double Dragon between the 3 arcade games, some of the console sequels they did, like Super Double Dragon. So it'll be interesting to see if anything other than the main 3 games are on here. Knowing how many games came on the Street Fighter 2 Alpha or coming on the Iconics version of that, 14 games, you can see maybe a bunch of other Technos games or something popping up on this one. But it'll be interesting to see. In the meantime, for me, this is, I think, the best option we have for those looking for replicas for their home. This is the one that checks all the buttons, right? It's got the arcade accuracy. Um, it's got the lighter weight. To me, it looks infinitely better. So if out of all the stuff we've seen this week, to me, this is the most exciting. It's also not the newest, right? We've all seen this before. We all had it back in April, right? I think we all had a good idea. This was, despite the comments back then, we all were pretty sure that this was coming out anyway. Because why make these cabs if you're not actually going to release them? And now we have confirmation that these are indeed coming in 2026. So that is good. And that's kind of a good transition point, right? Because 2025, we now know what is fully coming. The one thing I didn't mention, obviously, was the Pac-Man pub table, which landed a few days ago. So if you're on the look for yet another pub table, if you're building a home arcade of nothing but pub tables and you got your Pong, you got your Miss Pac-Man, well, now you can add the Pac-Man Pong table to your home arcade. It should be showing up at Costco anytime. It's been, I think, 6 days since it landed. So probably give it another 7 to 10 days and it should be in your Costco. So there you go. Enjoy another Pac-Man from Arcade 1-Up. And of course, we already saw and talked about the Pac-Man Neon Edition. So that seems to be what we're getting from Arcade 1-Up for now. Maybe there'll be some stuff popping up in October, like a Hello Kitty claw machine. Maybe they'll actually surprise us with something interesting. I doubt it. But there rumors that they've got some new IPs for 2026. We've got Double Dragon in 2026. We've got TMNT from Basic Fun coming in 2026. And presumably a lot more interesting stuff from Basic Fun in 2026. We know they're looking at adding Wi-Fi. They're talking with a lot of other licensors, and they're spending big money, right? They're landing some major IPs. So maybe, just maybe, we are going to see something awesome. So what is this? Congrats on the success, James. The success of what? Um, uh, the Taito sticker. Be nice to people in the chat. James is fair game. Okay. I don't know what is going on in there. Behind in chat, or I missed something. And I don't know what is going on with this Irish Mike stuff. But whatever. So I'll leave, there's enough mods in the chat that if things get out of hand, they can handle it. But not super concerned unless things get out of hand. Mike of all trades says, yeah, with a little Serrano chili instead of it. Also, hey, Big C. I don't know what the Serrano chili is about. I am so lost. This is what I get for not paying more attention. There is a good Double Dragon main port out there right now. Remix Kenny Power. So it is. I'm convinced. Not really, but I like to say it. I'm convinced we live in a simulation, right? I believe that there may be this underlying shared human consciousness that we had when we were back in the ape stages or in the uh, Cro-Magnon era where we couldn't talk, but we somehow psychically all communicated together like ants, right? Like ants and other insects can do. And that sense, that sixth sense is something we lost because we learned how to write and we learned how to talk and we learned how to pass information on. And so that sixth sense, that hive mind that humans once had is gone because weird things always happen. And so today we get this official kind of, hey, we're here at the toy preview and Double Dragon is coming. And then one of the most interesting YouTube channels that I like watching, called, I believe it's Arcade Economy, happens to release on the same day his video, How Much Does It Cost to Beat Double Dragon? So I definitely recommend going checking that video out. If you guys are not aware of his content, it's really good. He basically takes classic arcade games and determines how much it costs or would have cost to beat that game back in the day. So, was it a quarter muncher? Could you actually get through it? Very interesting, very fun. They're more documentaries about the game itself, but in it he explores the cost aspect. And so, coincidentally, he drops a giant Double Dragon thing. Also, this week there was some pretty big announcements about Double Dragon speedrunners that had figured out how to, glitch the end game and get the final boss to basically walk off the screen, so you don't even have to fight him. And so it was pretty interesting. A whole array of Double Dragon news. What, 40 years later, suddenly over the last 2 days has become a big deal. It's really weird. So again, we live in a simulation, as some guys like Elon Musk think, but it's pretty crazy how coincidental some of these things are when they happen. Um, uh, Go correct yourself on Code Mystics. So what do I need to correct myself on? Uh, James sucks at reading my chats. He does suck at reading my chats. uh, how about Robotron or something new? Well, I do know that arcade Star Wars fan G.I. Joe Gaming is moving towards at least a replica shell kit for Robotron. And as somebody that's got one of his Nintendo build choice kits, it's pretty damn awesome. So if you're looking for quality in a Robotron, when he gets that going, I definitely recommend checking that out. Um, he needs to go reread these comments. So I'm going back, Mystery Encoder. Where are these comments? Someone smack him and tell him to read the comments. Dumbass. James, everything you read confirmed without reading it. The not. Oh. Code Mystics, sorry. Sadly, Basic Fun is not one of our clients. So there you go. Unfortunately, they're not working with Basic Fun. So who knows did the edit on that game? That's even more concerning, I guess. So consider it corrected, Mystery Encoder. Code Mystics is not working with Basic Fun. Also, who's not working with Basic Fun is another company that continues to say they're not working with Basic Fun, and that's ThinkUp. But yeah. Former ThinkUp people and former Arcade One Up people are. Um, let's see here. Who do we got? Is Irish Mike a troublemaker? Seems possibly. Oh, congrats on over 90 people here. That's right. Well, I appreciate that, Steps. Um, yeah, I really and I obviously I appreciate everybody joining. Blown away with how many people are here tonight. So we're about that time. We're 50 minutes in. Again, I want to reiterate my prayers to Billy, his family, Jay, Chief, and the whole Game Chasers crew. Obviously, Shiloh. Wish him well. Um, Nerf Herd Master 70. We're getting a lot of these very clearly spoof alts jumping up in the chat here tonight. Um Interesting. But so uh Mike Tree Fitty, bad dudes cost me $20 to beat. So get caught up here. Oh, B Kirby with his gifted 10 memberships. Really appreciate that, B Kirby. Uh always around, always doing fun stuff, and very generous guy, good guy. Really appreciate him. Of course, appreciate everybody here for watching. That's why we do this stuff, is to hang with you guys, have fun, have conversations, nerd out on all this stuff. That's what we like. And I can remove, thought I already did remove that. I guess not. So really appreciate everybody being here. Um, and so of course, one final thought. So I don't know if you guys know, but there's a gaming convention coming up this weekend, Cleveland Gaming Classic. It's one where the P Dubs and all those guys went a couple years ago, and a lot of people are going this weekend. So I decided last minute to join them. So I will be there this weekend with the Arcades Anonymous crew, Joe Cade, um, Perfect Storm Gaming, uh, half a dozen from Yo Retro is going to be there. I believe Tech Buzz is going to be there. So tons of people going to be at Cleveland Gaming Expo this weekend. So if you're out and about, you want to have some retro arcade and retro video game fun, go check them out. I hear it's a good time. I've never been. So I'm excited to drop by, check out that show, hang with everybody, get some photo ops in their new 90s bedroom or 90s living room setup. Should be a lot of fun. So unless you guys have anything else, what is this stuff? I looked at Pop Reg. He has 50,000 subs. Well, hey, congrats to Brad. So they are, everybody's going to hang out there. So hopefully that's a lot of fun. Hopefully there's a lot of good stuff coming out of that. I'm excited. I believe there's a lot of people talking to this Irish Mike fellow. So yeah, we got Irish C100. There's a lot going on here. So things are getting out of hand. So maybe that's why things are up. But again, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Like I said, looking forward to, it's been an emotional day, emotional week. Really, because it was a week ago today when all that craziness happened, and it's been was it little either way, it's been an emotional week. So I'm looking forward to getting away, having fun, nerding out with a bunch of friends, just chilling. And yeah, so really appreciate again everybody being here tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show and all the wonderful news of home arcade, because it sure seems like while Basic Fun is stumbling out of the gates and letting us down, hopefully they're learning. Hopefully they have enough willpower to drive through this first batch and get us what we want, and the wisdom to seek people out who are their customers, because I guarantee you'll get a better product listening to the community that will also sell to the masses. It's not like the community is going to tell you to do something that won't also appeal to the masses. So why not appeal to both? Get a bunch of people excited and talking about your product. So hopefully they get there, because the more people doing this, the more people out here making these cabinets, the more likely it is we're going to get what we want. And I thought I saw JJ just tag me in something, but it is, oh, here it is. Looking forward to your show comments and videos, Be careful at the Mistake by the Lake. Well, I heard they rock, so there you go. I heard that place rocks, but I've never been there, so I've been to Cincy, not to Cleveland, not to the Cleveland Gaming Classic, so we'll see how it goes. And enough of the Midwest. Goodbye. Let's wrap things up, and until next time, have fun. Maybe.